Something just exploded inside the Cleveland Browns locker room, and it had nothing to do with football. It started with a Nike deal. Not a fumble, not a sideline argument, a Nike deal. One quarterback walked in thinking his career was about to change. The next morning, he watched someone else take what he thought was his moment. And the worst part, he found out through Instagram alongside the rest of the world. Now the team is divided, the front office is scrambling, and the internet is roasting a guy who can't decide if he wants to fight for his job or just walk away from it. And the quarterback? Who's at the center of it all? He hasn't said a word. He doesn't need to. Because while Dylan Gabriel is throwing tantrums and missing passes in practice, Shadur Sanders is out here building an empire one silent flex at a time. But how did a standard off-season promo turn into a full-blown power shift inside one of the NFL's most talked-about franchises? And what does it say about where this league is headed? Let's break it down because the story behind the cameras is wilder than anything you've seen on highlight reels. Dylan Gabriel thought he had it locked in. From walk-on to college star to NFL starter, his story had all the drama, all the grit, exactly the kind of underdog arc brands like Nike love to plaster across billboards. And for weeks, his camp had been hearing good things. His agent had been in talks with Nike. There were whispers about a campaign, a few texts, a call or two. He was told to stay ready. So he did. Until one morning, everything flipped. Nike dropped their announcement for the upcoming NextGen football showcase in Los Angeles, their big off-season promo packed with rising NFL talent and the company's next wave of brand ambassadors. Gabriel's name? Nowhere to be found. Front and center instead? Shadur Sanders, draped in customized Nike gear with the caption, "The future isn't waiting, it's already here." Inside the Browns facility, silence, then whispers, then chaos. Insiders say that when Gabriel saw that post, he snapped. Not just annoyed, furious, lockers were slammed, voices raised. One teammate called it a meltdown, like watching someone lose it in real time. The issue wasn't just that he didn't get picked, it was that no one even told him. He found out the way the rest of the world did, scrolling Instagram, while a teammate who barely acknowledged the announcement became an overnight poster child. And that's when things got ugly. The second Gabriel saw Shedur's name trending with Caleb Williams and CJ Stroud right beside it, something inside him snapped. He was pacing like a storm was coming, one player said, slamming his locker, muttering under his breath. Then, louder. They only care about his last name, not his game. Everyone in the room heard it. Teammates tried to calm him down, but Gabriel wasn't having it. He didn't just feel snubbed, he felt betrayed. Like the league, the media, and even his own team had turned their backs on him in real time. But the part that hit hardest? He believed that Nike owed him that spot. Behind the scenes, Gabriel's team had been building a campaign for weeks. They'd pushed the angle, the gritty grinder who no one believed in, the unflashy guy who just delivers, the one who fought his way up from nothing. That storyline had traction. Nike listened, took meetings, smiled politely, then ghosted him. And instead, they posted Shadur front and center, dripped out in exclusives, smirking like he knew his name alone was the ticket. No warning, no heads up. Just marketing silence, followed by global exposure. Inside the locker room, it was obvious. Shadur didn't gloat. He didn't even acknowledge Gabriel. Just scrolled through his phone, smiled quietly when teammates congratulated him, and moved on. But for Gabriel, that silence said everything, because it no longer felt like friendly competition. It felt like a takeover. Gabriel didn't just lose the Nike deal, he got publicly humiliated by it. The announcement post went viral instantly, with Shedeur front and center in high-end Nike threads, while Gabriel was back in Cleveland, invisible to the world. No backup spotlight, no alternate angle, just silence. And that caption didn't help. The future isn't waiting, it's already here. Translation? Shadur is the future. Everyone else, get out of the way. Within hours, the internet delivered its verdict. Twitter or X lit up with posts like, "Dylan Gabriel jealous again. Nike chose the star, not the stats." Imagine being mad that marketing passed on a mid-tier QB. One post that really stung just said, "You can't market mid," like a punch to the gut. And despite the Browns' social media teams scrambling to downplay things, it was too late. The story had already leaked. The narrative wasn't about Nike anymore. It was about Gabriel. More specifically, Gabriel losing it over not being considered marketable. And just like that, An endorsement he never had turned into a career-defining L played out online, absorbed in real time by teammates, fans, executives, and sponsors. But here's where it starts to get wild. Because this was never just about sneakers and photo shoots. According to insiders, Nike made this decision for a reason way bigger than football. Let's call it what it is. Shadur didn't win this spot because of his numbers. He won because he became something Dylan Gabriel isn't, and maybe never will be. A brand. Behind closed doors, Nike insiders are crystal clear. They weren't just picking quarterbacks, they were picking cultural icons, guys who live beyond the box score, guys who move product and conversation. And Shedeur? He fits that blueprint perfectly. His Instagram numbers rival actual celebrities. He doesn't just get coverage, he dominates headlines. Sports shows dissect every move he makes, and his relationship with Coach Prime, aka his dad, adds another layer of built-in legacy, story, and drama. Gabriel, on the other hand? Solid stats, clean mechanics, great work ethic. But no buzz, no spotlight, no narrative that makes people stop scrolling. A marketing executive anonymous, of course, summed it up like this. Gabriel's problem isn't talent, it's that nobody cares about his story anymore. Brutal. But brutally honest. Shadur's story has built-in traction. The pressure of being Dylan Sanders' son. The swagger. The headlines. The persona. The brand. Gabriel's story? One exec described it as respectable, but flat. That's the new game. In today's NFL, your stat line might win games. But your persona? That's what gets you deals, campaigns, multi-million-dollar endorsements, and yes, even influence in the locker room. And make no mistake, Gabriel knows it. And it's now affecting more than just his public image. By the following morning, the pressure had already started breaking Gabriel apart. ESPN's sideline cameras caught it live. Gabriel at practice, visibly frustrated. Missed timing routes, miscommunications, even basic short throws sailing high. He looked rattled, disconnected, not like himself. The media noticed immediately. Beat writers used phrases like emotionally checked out and mentally elsewhere. And while Gabriel struggled to reset, guess who was out there smiling, signing autographs, and staying locked in? Shadur Sanders, cool, collected, flawless during drills. One moment stuck out. A kid approached Shedeur after practice and asked how he felt about the Nike event. Without missing a beat, he replied, "Gonna make sure Cleveland's represented right. No flex, no heat, just calm confidence." Meanwhile, Gabriel stormed past reporters, ignoring every microphone in the vicinity. No quotes, no smiles, no eye contact. Inside sources say the mood among coaches shifted fast. They weren't just dealing with a frustrated player, they were watching a starter unravel in real time. Film reviews got tense. One report claimed Gabriel barely looked up at coaches during playback. Another said he even snapped at offensive coordinator Alex Van Pelt during a closed-door session, though the team denied there was an issue. But the message from his body language was loud and clear. He wasn't over it. And, more importantly, he couldn't hide it. But what happened next changed the tone completely. Because when the Browns brought both quarterbacks into a private meeting, everything spilled out. When head coach Kevin Stefanski called both quarterbacks into a closed-door meeting, the goal was simple. Stop the bleeding, get ahead of the media, and remind them what actually matters: winning. What happened inside, though, did the opposite. According to someone familiar with the conversation, Stefanski opened with the usual coach talk. Team first, no distractions, eyes on the mission. But Gabriel didn't want to hear it. He reportedly cut Stefanski off, voice raised, emotions boiling over accusing the organization of playing favorites, not on the field, but everywhere else. According to sources, Gabriel laid it all out. How the team's social media always highlights Shadeur's plays, even when Gabriel outperforms him. How Shadur gets more interviews, more endorsements, more appearances. How ownership allegedly works around his schedule, not Gabriel's. And then came the line that shifted the entire conversation. This isn't about football anymore, it's about who brings in the money. And I get it, I'm not Dylan Sanders' kid, but I earned my spot here. Stefanski tried to bring the energy back down, emphasizing unity and leadership, but it was already gone. The temperature in the room had changed. Shedeur, cool as ever, barely spoke. He didn't interrupt, he didn't defend. When asked directly if he had anything to say, "I'm here to play football, everything else is extra." That landed like a sucker punch. Clean, professional, and honestly, devastating. Because it made Gabriel look emotional and insecure. Insiders say Gabriel left that meeting more angry than he walked in and quietly threw out a warning. If things keep going like this, he might not stay in Cleveland. Translation? A trade request may already be floating behind the scenes. But while Gabriel was spiraling, the Browns front office had their attention somewhere else entirely. Because Shedeur's Nike effect was already turning into something way bigger than cleats and cameras. Sometimes the clearest message isn't spoken, it's posted, sold, and shipped. Hours after the Nike announcement, something wild happened. The Shadur Sanders Browns jersey sold out. Again, for the third time this season, and it wasn't even game day. In the following 24 hours, Cleveland's merchandise sales spiked 40% higher than the exact same time last year. The team's social media picked up over 200,000 new followers, mostly young fans, brands, and media accounts. And according to one staffer with direct knowledge, that spike wasn't because of the Browns, it was because of Shedeur. Call it harsh, or call it accurate. Either way, the numbers don't lie. Inside sources say Browns executives were quietly celebrating behind the scenes, not just because of what Shedeur did on the field, but because of how much he was delivering off of it. Nike saw it coming. Now Cleveland's front office couldn't deny it. As one anonymous executive put it, Shedeur is a walking billboard. His brand isn't just helping the Browns, it's making the Browns matter again. He's worth more than some Pro Bowlers, and he hasn't even been here a full year. And Gabriel? He's watching all of it happen in real time, watching his own spotlight shrink, while Shedeur's glow gets stronger by the day. Even if the Browns won't say it out loud, the message is clear. In this league, if you can't sell the brand, someone else will, and they'll take your job while doing it. And Gabriel? He knows. Everyone does. The Browns may not have named a starter yet, but in the eyes of the locker room, the scoreboard's already lit. Veteran players are reportedly fed up. One offensive lineman didn't hold back, telling reporters off the record, "We've got real games to win. This Nike drama, that's noise. If Dylan can't handle Shadur getting shine, maybe he's not built for this league." To them, Gabriel's outburst wasn't passion, it was fragility, a sign that under pressure, he cracks. And in professional football, perception hits harder than a blitz. But the locker room isn't one-sided. Several younger players, especially rookies, quietly backed Gabriel. They say he has every right to be upset. One defensive back said flat out, "Dylan's right to be mad. Dude had way better stats last year, over 4,100 yards, 32 touchdowns. Shedeur didn't even hit 3,300. But because he's got a famous dad and a million followers, he gets the deal? That's crazy." And they're not wrong on paper. Gabriel did outperform Shedeur last season. Gabriel, 4, 127 yards, 32 TDs, 11 INTs, 67.8% completion. Shadur, 3, 214 yards, 24 TDs, 9 INTs, 65.1% completion. But here's the stat that really matters to Nike and to the Browns. Shadur's Hersey sales? Double Gabriel's. His social media engagement? Triple Gabriel's. And internal fan polls? Shadur won by a landslide when asked, which QB would you rather see in a Nike commercial? So yeah, the numbers do tell a story. Just not the one Gabriel wants to hear. Later that day, Coach Stefanski brought both quarterbacks back in for another conversation shorter, more private. His message: focus on football. Block out the noise. But Gabriel reportedly pushed back again. He told Stefanski he was tired of being marketed like a backup, tired of seeing Shadur's name on every team highlight, tired of being ignored. And then what no one expected: a trade rumor. Sources say Gabriel hinted at requesting out if things stayed the same. Not publicly, not officially, but the way he framed it? Very clear message. I earned this role, I'm not playing second to a brand. And Shedeur? Still no outburst, no shade. He didn't even look angry. When asked if he had anything to add, he simply said, "I'm here to play football, everything else is extra." Same words, same quiet, controlled tone. But this time, that professionalism hit harder than if he'd said anything dramatic. Because while Gabriel storms out of practice, Shedeur keeps stacking wins on the field, off the field, in front of cameras, behind closed doors. And it's working. One staff member admitted, "Shadur's presence alone boosted our profile. People care again. The kid's bigger than Cleveland right now, and that's not even shade, that's facts." Meanwhile, Dylan Gabriel is fuming on the sidelines, more frustrated, more isolated, and according to some already halfway out the door. So what happens next? Could he request a trade? Would another team even take a chance on a quarterback with this much public baggage? And what does this mean for the Browns, who now have a rising star and a ticking time bomb in the same quarterback room? One veteran told a reporter quietly, "I respect Dylan's game, but this tantrum? That's soft. You want to show Nike they got it wrong? Go win games. Don't whine in the locker room." But a teammate closer to Gabriel offered the other side. No one understands what it's like being in Shadur's shadow. That spotlight follows him everywhere. It's not just football anymore, it's a marketing war. And he's already winning it. This was supposed to be a quiet off-season. Instead, it's an internal takeover, a power shift powered by hashtags and highlight reels. And in 6 days, Shadur will be in Los Angeles flashing smiles, shaking hands, headlining Nike's biggest off-season event of the year. Meanwhile, Gabriel will be back in Cleveland watching it happen from the bench, literally and metaphorically. As one player bluntly put it, "This team belongs to Shedeur now, not just the huddle, the brand, the city, the future." And the scariest part? Dylan Gabriel knows it.